Back with another video, and this time is more Transformers. We have a bit of a two-pack here from the Studio Series 86. We have Brawn and Autobot Ratchet. This is the shuttle escape, or the Autobot massacre, as I like to call it. As you can see, these are battle damaged Ratchet and Brawn. We've gotten these molds before, minus the destruction. This one specifically here is based on Ironhide, which also got the same treatment here. If you are a fan of the movie, or if you've seen the 86 Transformers animated movie, you know what happens in that shuttle, so hence these two. And we've got this Brawn with a pretty sizable hole in his chest, and you know, so I'm gonna open these up, give you guys a look. Overall, you know, you get this box here, Studio Series 86. You've got, unfortunately, my two guys here not looking too good, worse for wear, and then same thing on this side. And of course on the back you do get a diorama, because this is a Studio Series figures. And you've got Brawn, which is pretty much the same release we got in Studio Series 86, but with the battle damage. Same thing here with Ratchet, and you do get some effects to, if you want to display them in your collection, pretty much getting destroyed by the Decepticons. But I figured I'd pick up this two-pack. I did get this from Target. It was on sale, I think like $5 off or something. So I just decided to pick this up. So here we are. Let's continue on with the Studio Series 86 two-pack of, oh man, Ratchet here and Brawn. And yeah, they're in bad shape. So again, if you're familiar with the Studio series, they're trying to recreate pretty much everything that was in the 86 movie. So we do get this awesome background, which is pretty much the ship, the Autobot ship, where pretty much these guys get obliterated. Ratchet, Brawn, Prowl, and Ironhide pretty much bite the dust at that during that scene. Hence these decos of these guys are pretty much gone at this point. They do look pretty cool. That background looks pretty awesome. You know, again, if you have a Prowl and Ironhide and you want to sort of have them all posed together, or maybe like this, you can. So again, that's something you could recreate there. In addition to the two bots, obviously, and the background, we do get accessories. So we get two guns here for Ratchet. These are the same guns that came with the original Studio Series 86 Ratchet, and then I think the same guns that came with Ironhide. So again, these are same old guns. He can hold them in his hands, and that's part of the scene where he's kind of going two-handed shooting at them, but yeah, it does him no good. You also do get these sirens. Essentially, these are the sirens for the vehicle mode. You can tap those in there, and essentially they are part of the vehicle mode. So when you transform this guy, it'll look something like so. So that's something you could do there. These accessories were all in a tissue paper box taped behind the inner carton, so just something to keep in mind. For Brawn here, you do get his gun, which is again the same gun that he came with from Studio Series 86. So again, really cool silver detailing there. And you also get his wheel. This is the wheel that goes attached to the top section here of the vehicle mode. So he's more accurate, I guess. So that's cool. And then the last accessories, which is kind of cool that they include these. I guess it's like a must considering the scene. And you get these effects in purple. I think these are pretty much the same ones that came with Prowl and Ironhide, and these you could separate. There's like three. So of course the whole aim of these are to attach them to the holes that are included here in their chest, so that he looks like he just got killed. And then same thing here for Brawn. You can do that, and then you kind of have a way to recreate the scenes. Of course you can attach these effects to the guns as well. So they do have a section here. So, you know, it doesn't just have to be them getting obliterated. You know, they can also be shooting back. So again, pretty cool that we get these effects with them. So yeah, so that's everything you get in the box. So let's go ahead and get started here. Let's go ahead and get started here with Brawn. We'll move Ratchet here off to the side. We'll come back to him. So Brawn here, again, pretty cool figure. I love this thing. We got this originally as part of the Studio Series 86. And again, as I said, this is pretty much trying to reenact that scene from the 86 Transformers movie where these guys get ambushed by the Decepticons in their shuttle, and essentially that was pretty much the end of this character. So again, to emulate that look, they give you a nice gaping hole here on the upper section of the left chest, and again you can put a effect there, and they've got that nice I guess battle damage sort of coming out. They also gave him an updated face expression to match the Carnage. Again, he's got more of a mouth open, sort of screaming in pain type thing. Other than that, pretty much everything is pretty much the same as that original Studio Series 86 figure. There are some slight differences, like for example, the yellow, or this color here on the chest on this battle damage version, I'm going to call it, is more of a matte or flat color, versus the color on the original figure was had some gloss to it. And then the arms here on this figure are more of, again, of a glossy, slightly flat gray, versus on the original figure they were more metallic in color. But I think other than that, everything else pretty much the same, and I'm actually going to bring it so you still get the same articulation you got in those figures. The head could move left and right if you wanted to. You can move your arms up, down, you got the articulation there. The hands do not move. You can fully turn this around. The backpack kind of gets in the way, but you can move it out of the way. You can kick. This is his knee. So he has pretty much the exact same articulation as that original Studio Series 86 figure. If you like that figure, you're probably going to wind up liking this one, minus obviously the fact that this one has a gaping hole, but I'm assuming you knew what you were getting into when you bought these figures. Again, you don't need to get this if you already have the original one. If I had to nitpick this, I guess you are going for the fully battle damage or about to be obliterated version of Brawn. Would have been nice if this went all out through the back, yes. So then maybe you can also put an effect here on the back. Would have been cool, but they didn't do that. So let's bring in the original, the Studio Series 86, so you could see them here together. As I said, the heads are the same. The gray on the original, the Studio Series here, the head, the expressions are obviously different. Here he's screaming. In this one he's got more of a neutral kind of look, and at least on my original Studio Series, the gray is a little lighter than here on the battle damage one. And then, as I mentioned, the chest, you have the different color, not different colors, but different finish variations. And then same thing on the arms. I don't know if you could tell that this original Studio Series has more of a metallic look versus the battle damaged one here. But other than that, it's pretty much, I want to say, the exact same. There are some slight differences in the green, but I think that's just probably just down to the plastic. I think they're meant to be the exact same color. Maybe this one's a little lighter. But other than that, you don't get clear windows because the original figure did not have any clear plastic, at least as far as the windows go. So you get the exact same here. So again, pretty similar. This is probably the one with the most minimal changes, other than, I mean, that's a pretty drastic change, right? That hole going through the chest and that screaming expression. So just want to compare these two. That's what you get. So we'll move them out of the way. And then let's do our boy Ratchet here. And yeah, I think he has it just as bad, if not a little worse, than Brawn here. Of course, he was also part of that whole famous scene. He does try shooting back at the Decepticons with both of his guns here. So, like I said, they do include those. And he can two-hand it. He ends up getting shot right through the chest and everything while he's trying to get back into the Decepticons. So that's essentially what you're getting here. They give you a whole shattered windshield. This is pretty much Ironhide, right? If you have that battle damage Ironhide, this is what that is, just painted white, like you know, to show that it's Ratchet. So you've got the whole missing window here. You've got that hole there where you can attach more fire effects, and of course you've got the more I guess dying face in comparison to the original. Otherwise, you know, you're getting the same articulation. This was originally a really great figure to begin with, so you're getting the same articulation, the same sort of color. You know, this guy can kick up. You got the waist there, and it's got the whole knee thing. So yeah, again, if you have that figure, you're getting more of the same here. It's just you're just getting a battle damaged version pretty much. So for some comparisons, I'm going to bring in the again the Studio Series Ratchet that came out a while ago, so you can see what the differences and similarities here are. So the white color is pretty similar, except for the fact that, as you could see, this one has clear plastic windows, which again, especially I think these sections kind of go tab into different things when you're in vehicle mode, especially around the legs. So you have to be a little careful with handling this guy, and hopefully your clear plastic won't break. Versus this guy has painted windows. So again, painted window, and then same thing down here. This is just painted plastic. So I'm assuming this guy would run less of a risk in breaking. Ironically enough, he's the dead one. So other than that, I see, you know, obviously the face. I don't know if you guys can see there the faces. Here the Studio Series is more of a neutral look. If anything, he's kind of smiling or smirking. And then of course the battle damage one here is sort of like on his way out. He's dead. Other than that, and the clear plastic, you know, I would say that's pretty much the extent of it. The red on my original Studio Series 86 version here does look a bit more vibrant, which I guess would make sense, you know, considering this one's about to bite the dust versus the one that's technically alive. And the white looks a little more glossy, but that probably has to do with this being clear plastic that's been painted white versus actual white plastic where the windows have been painted blue. So that's probably where the color differences are coming. Also, you'll notice here this guy on the side does have the red stripe. So if you look here on the cab, this one does have the red stripe versus this one that doesn't. It's all plain. So I mean, if you're handy enough, my assumption is that you could probably take a lot of these parts off, or maybe just switch the heads into this one and then somehow switch the chest, but then you'd end up with a clear plastic chest and all solid blue windows, so it might look a little weird. But again, other than that, if you enjoyed this Studio Series release here, you are definitely going to enjoy this one if you, I guess, have fond memories of these guys getting totally obliterated. But again, the figures themselves, you know, they're based off of what is, in my opinion, really good molds. So again, you're getting more of the same here. So vehicle modes, here we are. Again, exact same transformations as the Studio Series 86 Brawn and Ratchet. Nothing different transformation wise. So these are the two vehicle modes right there. You'd be hard pressed to find any difference specifically with this guy, with Brawn here. I'll show you. I'm bringing the other one, and I mean, unless you know what's what, you won't really be able to tell the difference. The I guess damage version or battle damage version, the green is a slightly lighter tone versus the Studio Series 86. So that's really the only difference I could tell, and I'm not sure if the color differences is just due to maybe a different run or whatever it may be, but other than that, pretty much the exact same deco, exact same details. There is one difference here that you could see. The window here on the battle damage version is actually painted, which is cool, and on the Studio Series is not, which is a bit of a shame. I'm gonna try and see if maybe you can switch these out for these, but then you are going to get slightly different hues of green, like I said, so may not be worth it, but something to look into. But other than that, unless you flip these two, then obviously you can clearly tell here who's who. You've got the gaping wound right there. But as I said, if you like this mode, you like the transformation, pretty much the same thing, so nothing too crazy. Let's bring in here Ratchet. Here we go, his windshield all broken. And this is one where I did see a couple of differences, right? It was a lot better working with this solid plastic with painted windows. Here is the Studio Series Ratchet. You could see all clear plastic, which does look nice, but a lot of these clear plastic has to go tabbed into panels. And I don't know, it makes it a bit sketchy. Again, I don't know, the longevity of clear plastic on my end kind of scares me a bit. Also, because you have clear plastic painted white, the battle damage version does a better way of you know, making sure the white is all the same color, so it melts in together better than, for example, this whole section here or the windshield section, because this is painted clear plastic versus all this. As you can see, the windows are all painted as well. The battle damage version here, for whatever reason, I'm assuming maybe to look better in bot mode, doesn't have paint fully going all the way through the window here on both sides, whereas this, you can see the clear window here on the whole thing. On the back, again, the battle damage version has this nice painted silver bumper, which the Studio Series does not. And of course, the more obvious one that you guys could see here is the fact that the battle damage version has a nice red stripe going through all the way down, and the insignia here on the right, on the bottom right, this one is just plain old white. This is, I guess, more perhaps toy, and then maybe this is more cartoon accurate. I'm not sure, but again, pretty big differences there, I must say. And of course, you know, looking at the front, you've got this big crashed up windshield, and here you got clear plastic, which you can kind of see the head. So you know, I'm gonna try and see if maybe you could switch the panels on these guys and take the best of both worlds, but I think you'll still be left with either a broken windshield or a clear plastic windshield. But all right, guys, so we went over the accessories. I showed you the diorama background that you get with these two figures, went over the vehicle modes, pretty similar to what you get with the previous Studio Series 86 figures. Obviously, Ratchet here is probably the one that has the most differences in comparison to Brawn, right? He doesn't have the clear plastic, and there's a lot, I think, a lot more decos in this one versus comparing this Brawn to the Studio Series. But again, if you like those figures, you are more than likely going to like these ones, other than the fact that, of course, they're pretty much damaged Autobots, right? So you can sort of recreate that scene with these two if you wanted to. Before we wrap up, I want to do some comparisons here. So here they are next to the other two battle damaged or dead Autobots from that same shuttle scene. So we have Prowl and Ironhide there. Pretty much here you could see that Ironhide and Ratchet are pretty much the exact same mold. The heads are exactly the same. They're just painted differently. And then the same thing with the chest there, right? But now I have all four, so if I wanted to, I could recreate that scene, use the diorama there. But there you go. These are your four battle damaged Autobots. Of course, I think from that movie, from the 86 movie, I think we're still missing a couple, like a couple of Decepticons that were dead or in pieces. Folks like Ratchet and Windcharger, I believe, were in the background, pretty battle damaged, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get those in the future. I would probably hope that we would at least get a clean version of Windcharger before we get a battle damaged one, or a dead one anyway. So yeah, so these are those four. So I'm going to move these two out of the way. Here is Starscream and Cup, so you guys can see the size differences there. Again, no different than the previous Studio Series version, so we can move these two guys out. Then here is next to Springer, Triple Changer, and Cyclonus. So again, you guys can see them there together. I'll move them out of the way. And then here he is. Here's the Galvatron. Of course, he's a big boy, so he barely fits in. So I'll move him so you guys can see the size difference there. Again, towers over both of them. We'll move him out of the way. Why not throw in Optimus Prime here? Earthrise Optimus Prime. Can't wait to get that Studio Series 86 figure in hand. So that's that. We'll move him out of the way. And why not throw in Jazz? This is a Jazz from the 5-pack, not the Studio Series one. So that one's pretty cool. He actually also comes with the painted windows and the solid plastic as opposed to clear plastic. So we'll move him out of the way. So that's really cool. We have a Scourge or a Sweep, whatever you want to call him there. We'll move him out of the way. Here's Blaster. And why not? Let's go ahead and put in here Cliff Jumper. So that's the two of them. And then lastly, I had a Kingdom Rodimus laying around here, so you guys can see there. Figure I put all four of these together with the diorama background to give you an idea of what you're looking at if you decide to get all four of these. Ratchet and Brawn, Ratchet and Brawn are awesome figures. They were from the very beginning, at least those original molds. I would say Ratchet does have some improvements as far as the not clear plastic and additional paint in the vehicle mode. With Brawn, not so much. I mean, there is some additional paint in the vehicle mode, but overall, not too much difference other than the obvious battle damage. But yeah, so that is it. Let me know if I missed anything. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care, guys.